Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I am Ted Stryker, and my guest today is a fantastic writer, singer, dancer, an actress, and I would like to know her dad, who seems very cool. Tinashe is here.
Hey,
how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm sorry to bring up your dad in the very first thing, but all the videos that I have seen of you as a kid, your dad is in some of those, and he
he's
seems
in like almost all of them.
Yeah, like the coolest dude.
Yeah, he's definitely been there every step of the way, from ever since I was really young, my parents have both always nurtured and really encouraged my creative side and the side that, really loved to perform. And my dad was always taking me to auditions and taking me to dance classes and all sorts of stuff. So it was really amazing. That support system is
He
big.
looks like, and these videos, by the way, you're like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, and I can see, wow, she's really got something cool there. But what world does your dad come from in terms of entertainment world?
My dad, he, studied theater in college. So he, really has a love for entertaining and the arts as well. And I think, part of that entertainment was instilled in me from a really young age. But my dad's, he's from Zimbabwe, and I think culturally it's a very musical culture as well. Right. So there was a lot of music in the house, and that was always, a big part of growing up, just singing and harmonizing with my family. And so that's, I felt a very strong connection to entertaining and music specifically from like a really young age.
And what about your mom? What's her role been in everything in terms of music and that sort of stuff? Yeah.
She isn't necessarily the most musical herself, but there's other qualities that are super amazing about her. She's one of the hardest working people that I've ever met in my entire life, probably the. And it's really incredible. She's Irish Norwegian from Iowa, and so she grew up in a very small town, a completely different kind of life than my adolescence was. So it's been really interesting. We're super close, and again, I credit my parents a lot for a lot of my success. They're so supportive, and I still to this day they're my biggest support system.
That's very cool. Not every kid can just pick up a mic or a broomstick in the house and sing.
Yeah.
But you were doing that. But what was the first thing you did? Not necessarily as a professional, but was it a class, a singing class, a dance class, an acting class?
I don't necessarily. I was in my first movie when I was about 6.
Okay.
I was in my first magazine as a model when I was maybe 3.
Wow.
I started training in dance around 4. So, I've just, again, it's been a lifetime kind of goal, and I've always really enjoyed it. I've always really loved being in front of the camera, entertaining, putting on a show.
The first singing group you were in, how did that come about, and what was the name of that?
I was in a singing group really young. I joined the Stunners when I was about 14. I auditioned to be in the group, and it was one of kind of these spur-of-the-moment things. I was never really planning on being in a girl group, going that route or anything, and I was just offered this opportunity, and I was like, well, this could be a great learning experience for me. Right. I'd never professionally recorded music before, and I was in that group for about 4 years. Right. And when I was about 18, we all just had really different end goals, so it was kind of a natural evolution that we all kind of evolved out of that group.
The business side of that, though.
Yeah.
Not the creative side, the business side. What's 1 or 2 things you learned? Even though you were 14, 15, 16 range, what's one thing that you took away from that you maybe apply today?
I think definitely one of the biggest things is just engineering music, the structure of music, recording music. I think that was something that I initially got really interested in producing and that whole side of creating music. For me, though, it was a no-brainer that I wanted to do something that I was creatively in control of. So when I was able to start creating my own solo music when I was around 18. I started recording my mixtapes in my bedroom. That was a huge breakthrough because I was like, okay, this is me. This is, what am I going to express? Who am I going to be? I have a completely clean slate. And that was really inspiring.
Before you put out Aquarius, what led up to getting the deal to be able to do that full length?
Yeah. I think what led to getting the full-length album, is that mixtape process. I started, creating mixtapes in my bedroom, putting them online, and just building up my fan base that way, getting the press involved, getting everyone excited, and introduced to who I was as an artist. I think it was really exciting when I eventually signed with my label, because that was the first opportunity that I had to create an LP that would be available in stores and all these things. So that was just a huge deal for me. And I worked on that album for about 2 years.
Wow.
I made 200 songs for it. huge deal.
Did you feel like there were too many cooks in the kitchen, just the right amount of producers, just the right amount of people? What was your mindset on that?
I'm really happy with how Aquarius turned out for that particular project. I think it worked out well, and I was very happy with the end result. And I felt like I creatively got my way, and that was, awesome as an artist. So for me, obviously the creative process, there were some ups and downs creating that album. I obviously made like 200 songs, so not all of them made it. So there were, some struggles, things that I had to get over, feelings of like having to prove myself as far as like being a brand new artist, being like a young woman, working with all these producers who are like well established, and, just kind of showing them that I was serious about who I was, and that I did have a point of view, because a lot of times they work with people maybe that don't necessarily have their own point of view.
Right.
So yeah, that was a process, a learning process, a growth process, an experience that I just had to go through. And I feel like, the way that the album turned out was all I could ask for. I think it was a great debut album.
You've grown, and the music has grown as well, and you can hear it.
Absolutely.
You can definitely hear it.
Yeah.
And does that happen naturally, or is that a conscious decision, like, we've got to change just a hint, but I got to keep my older fans happy? How does that work?
I think for me, as a human being and as a young person, I feel like I've just grown a lot and changed a lot in the past couple of years. I've learned a lot, I've experienced a lot of new things, been to a lot of new places, new countries, experienced a lot of new cultures, how people listen to music, what they're listening to over here in this country and over here in this country. And I think that all of that has had an effect on me and has created an evolution in me. And I think that that's a natural human process as you grow up. And I think people don't understand like how much people really listen to, well, at least me. I like obsess over and listen to and criticize and overthink all the music before everyone hears it, because I listen to this music for months and months and months and months before it's ever, in the stores or on iTunes. And yeah, for an artist, that can be an extremely borderline painful process, because there is so much, especially for me being such a perfectionist, there's so much analyzing that can go in. I can literally listen to the same song like every day for 6 months and be like, this could be better, this could be better, this could be better, this could be better. And, eventually you reach a point where you just have to be like, this is great and I love it for what it is. And it's always amazing when the people are able to hear it and it's off your chest.
It seems like you have a vision and you would like to stick to that.
Yeah.
And if others want to take you out of that vision, you're going to fight for how you want it. Is that fair to say?
Definitely. I think I've always been the type of person who values my own instincts. And I think that that's really important, because it's really easy, especially as a young woman, to be deterred and to be like influenced by, there's so many people that want to tell you, oh, you should do this, or you should do that. Everyone's got an opinion. And it's really, really important to be able to trust that instinct or that voice inside yourself that's like, this is what you want, this is what you like, and to be able to trust that. I think that's something it's hard to maintain even. You have to continuously I have to even continuously remind myself that, to just trust my instincts.
And you have good instincts. You would not have made it this far without them. You're very welcome. Super Love.
Yeah.
I love the video.
Thanks.
I mean, the dancers are just so good that you have.
Yeah, they're
How
awesome.
important is that to your whole, act, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, the dance element is huge for me, because I've been training in dance since I was 4. And for me, that's always been just another extension of how I express my music and how I express myself. Dance is super powerful, super impactful, I think, and super underrated, and something that I just am trying to kind of just bring back to the mainstream as much as I possibly can,
Nice, which has inspired me to take dance lessons starting
Do it.
today.
Do it.
Tinashe, thanks again for being here, and I'm Stryker. And that is our show, everybody. I'm off to take dance lessons. See you guys later.